Do you ever wonder how successful people do it? How do they appear to have everything they need and know everything they need to know and be able to do or be in the right place at the right time? How do they do it? Well, there's a secret I'm about to share with you. To make sure that you have everything you need, all the experience, all the expertise, all the wisdom, all the talent at your fingertips. All you need to do is build your own advisory board. Much like successful organizations build a board of directors, and the way that they do this is that they find people who have the experience and the expertise that they don't have, and they bring them onto their board of directors. And then they have access to all the wisdom and experience and the ideas on how to avoid the pitfalls and sabotaging and obstacles that they might run into. Because when you have mentors in place who have the experience and the expertise, they can help you smooth out your course so that you're not running into these obstacles and pitfalls. They can help you so that you can learn from their mistakes and, more importantly, learn from their successes. So, how do you build this advisory board? I'm going to share that with you now. Here we go. So when you're wondering, who's looking out for you? And of course, we all wish that somebody would just gallop in on a horse and go, I understand you need experience and expertise in this arena. Or, I'm here to help you to, whatever it is you need. But they can't. You need to figure out what you do know and what you've got when you've got this and what you don't. And when you fill the gaps with the what you don't, that's building your advisory board. If you're feeling lonely, isolated, if you're feeling emotionally exhausted, just like burnt out because you think you should have the energy that you used to have, but nothing's inspiring you enough to even pull the covers from up over your head, it's overwhelming. And when you are so stressed out with so much to do, that causes anxiety that clenches at your heart and your gut, in your head. And that can have a really negative effect on your health. If you've gone through significant loss or trauma or any major role change, you might just be burnt out a little and you're wondering, how do I get that energy back? Or how do I get what I need to get what needs to get done? If you were put into a position of any kind, either professionally or personally, and you don't know that you can actually do the job, then that's called imposter syndrome. And you probably have the skill set to do the job, but the way to be sure of that is to find someone who really knows how to do it and lock them in on your advisory board. If you ever ask yourself, do I have the skills? Who am I going to go to if I don't know how to do something? How's that going to make me look to other people if I have to reach out and get help? And it really depends on how you do it. But if you have someone as a coach, a guide, or a mentor, they've been in this position and they can give you the insight and the wisdom that you need and really allow it to be your information. Perhaps you have fear of failure and you don't want to move forward because you don't want to make a mistake. How do you put someone in place so that you have the confidence that you know that you will succeed? Because if you're not even trying, you've already failed, certainly. Then there are those people who have a fear of success. What if you actually make it big? What if the relationship you're hoping for actually works? What if you get the job you're seeking? Then what are you going to do? Well, if you put your advisory board in place, you've got everything you need. So when you ask, how are you getting it done and who do you know? These are going to be the people on your advisory board who are going to help you get to that next step. All right, so would you like me to share with you super simple steps to gain an abundance of wealth of information and talent and skill and network? How do you build this empowerment team? There are 3 types of people that you're going to welcome in onto your advisory board. I have attached a worksheet to this. I'm going to take a pause here and let you see it. I've attached a worksheet to this program, and this is what it's going to look like. So I'm giving you a sneak peek, and I'm going to detail each aspect of this. But if you don't have the worksheet, you can pause it here. I'll make a funny face so that I'm sitting there with a funny face while you print it out. Or you can just go ahead and give yourself a couple of columns on a sheet of paper. The first column is going to be the name of somebody. The second column, we're going to describe what type of advisor they're going to be. The third column will note their area of expertise. We're going to talk about who they are to you, what their level of influence is, and are these people who can bring you one step closer to fill the gap between you and the goal you're trying to achieve? How do you reconnect? Have you made an introduction? And what's the timely response or follow-up? Okay, so that's going to be the secret insight into what we're doing. But let's go back and take this one step at a time. So now on that worksheet, or even just a blank piece of paper, you can write somebody's name who is an emotional champion of yours. These are people who will listen to what you have to say and who will always be on your side. These are the people who, no matter what you tell them, they always believe in you. There's a second type of emotional champion, and these are the people who may listen and be on your side, but then these champions will also challenge you to be your best and not rest on your laurels. These are going to be the people who say, wow, that sounds really hard, or that must have been really difficult, or and then they're going to say, but have you considered this other perspective? Or trust me, you might want to look for a coach, a guide, or someone who has this expertise. I've made this mistake before. So they might not be the answer, but they're going to be emotional support and say, that's a clear signal to get an expert. So those are the emotional champions. It's also important to note who's not on this list. People who pull your energy down or are always trying to be better than you. Even if you're sharing good news, they're going to share their better news. And if you're sharing difficult or bad news, there you had it worse. Those are not the kind of people you want on your advisory board. Okay, second type of people you'd like to welcome into your advisory board are subject matter experts. These are trusted members who can help you make decisions in your best interest. Subject matter experts are people who have gone further into a specific topic. They have a higher level of education, experience, expertise. And I'll rattle off a whole bunch of examples. A healthcare provider has gotten additional experience and education in the healthcare industry. A financial advisor has learned about money. A mechanic has learned the details on how your car will run smoothly. So those are the ones that I can think of at the moment. But these are the subject matter experts. These people you can find as educators, advisors, teachers. And the glory in this is also you've got an incredible body of knowledge through your experience in your life. Consider who you can mentor so that you could be on someone else's advisory board. Okay, the third category of advisors to welcome onto your advisory board are accountability and network partners. These are going to be the type of people who help keep you on track, connect you with the next right thing, and then if you're really fortunate, there'll be people who leverage their position to help you with your goals. I'll give you a couple of examples. If you connect once a week with a friend to say, hey, how's it going? What you doing? What progress have you made over this week toward a goal that you each have? It could be individualized goals. You don't have to have the unified goal. Maybe it's somebody who is interested in walking with you or going to the gym together. Maybe it's somebody who picks you up to go to work or to school because they're going to make sure you get there. So those are people who will help keep you on track. People who will connect you with the next right thing. You've had conversations with them, they understand your whole picture, and maybe they know that you're looking for a job. And they know a recruiter. They might connect you with the next right thing. That's the next stepping stone to get to where you want to go. Then there are those people who might leverage their position to help you with yours. Perhaps this is someone you knew and you worked with before. You might reach out to them and say, hey, I'm looking for a job opportunity, and I see that the job I'm qualified for is in the company that you're currently working in. I wonder if you can walk my resume into the hiring manager. They then would be leveraging their position to help you with yours. And one of the beautiful things to remember about building an advisory board is that gratitude grows in a forward motion, and that you can be an advisor on other people's boards. So, in a nutshell, here it is. How can you access all the support, expertise, advice, and connections that you could possibly imagine? Building an advisory board will do it. And the three types of advisors are emotional champions, those people who will listen and be on your side, those people who will challenge you to be the best and not rest on your laurels, subject matter experts, who are trusted mentors who have your best interest in mind. These are oftentimes professionals who have put in the extra time and energy to have a higher level understanding of a specific zone of genius. And third, accountability and leverage partners. These are the people who help keep you on track, connect you with the next right thing, and they might be willing to leverage their position to help you. That's it. Seems easy, right? Now, I've given you this worksheet because it really does take a little effort to think it through, but you're not starting at zero. You're not. Even if you were, you can build an advisory board. So in the first column, think about people you know who you might invite to your advisory board. Might they be friends, family, community members, people you know through school or your kids' school or your friend's school, people who you used to work with or their connections, people in your network or friends of friends. Maybe you don't know someone, but you know somebody who knows the right person who's going to help you achieve your goal. You might know them through an organization you belong to. Okay. Next step is to figure out, are they emotional advisors, subject matter experts, or accountability or leverage champions? Then you're going to figure out what's their level of influence, like on a scale of 1 to 10. Would they be somebody who you know right now, and maybe you know the hiring manager for a job and you've worked with that person before? That's a level 10. It's a shoo-in, because you know the person who makes the decisions. Reach out to that person. Maybe it's been years since you've spoken with this person. That's fine too, because you can still have an opportunity to reach out to them and say, hey, remember when we used to work together? This person doesn't have to be the decision maker. It could be someone who is influential in that sphere. Maybe it's the assistant to the CEO, and really the CEO knows somebody you'd like to connect with. But you know the assistant. So you talk to the assistant and you ask if they might mention it. So it could be a couple steps beyond, but it's worth the touch point. And then, as I was talking about how successful people can anticipate what they're doing right, and they can also anticipate why they're successful, is they can anticipate what could go wrong. And because they do that, they're prepared for those obstacles and pitfalls. And by doing that, it makes it easier and flow through more gracefully when they come up. So another point in grading their level of influence is perhaps you were talking to somebody you used to work with, you're looking for a job, and you know there's a job description that's right for you in the company where this person's working, but they wouldn't have known that of your circumstance that you're looking for a job right now, as an example. So when you reach out to them, you can say, hey, remember when we used to work together? So cool. How are you? What's going on? Oh, I noticed that there's a job opportunity that's totally perfect for me, and that I know exactly how to do this job. And you and I know each other, so I have those skills, and it's at your company. I wonder if you can, and here's the call to action, walk my resume into the hiring manager. So that person would never have thought to do this without you making that touch point. That's what this is about. So these are about people who could bring you one step closer if they're not the actual person. And realize interesting people are interested. They do want to hear what's going on with you. Okay, here's your challenge. If you've got your list of people who might be perfect for your advisory board, my challenge for you is to reach out to one of them each day for the next 20 days. And that's how you're going to build your advisory board. And all you need to do is catch up. You don't need to have an agenda at all. And I'll walk you through how to do that. Because realize that relationships are the long game, and building relationships and nurturing them might be the shortcut, even if it takes longer. Okay. If you need a little help figuring out how to connect and invite people aboard your advisory board, I'm going to drill down on that so that it's super clear and super straightforward. First of all, just reconnect. Let's use the example of somebody you used to work with, and you're looking for a job that is available in the company they're working in now. First of all, make it easy for them to help you. Just reconnect. The first touch point could be, I wonder if you have 15 minutes. Let's just reconnect. Then remind them who you are and how you knew one another, because you're out of context for them. You're giving this thought, you're remembering who they were and what they were about, but they've been busy all day, all month, all year doing other stuff. And with all love and respect, they haven't thought about you. Doesn't mean they don't care. It just means they've been doing other things. So when you do reach out to them, remind them who you are and how you met them, and also, kind of what you're about. Then when you do ask, I wonder if you can bring my resume into the hiring manager and note our relationship, they'll be refreshed and they'll have it fresh in their mind. Be clear about a simple call to action and how to connect with you. Make it easy for them to work with you. Make it easy for them to connect with you. That's how it works. So for example, if you're making an introduction and they said, oh, I'll bring your resume to the hiring manager, thank them. Remind them in a sentence or two who you are, what you're about, highlight your strengths, social proof. Remember, we worked together and we did all this big thing, and here was my contribution. And the one thing that would be amazing if you could do for me, because it would really help out your human resources department, if you could be the hero who brings my resume to the hiring manager, because I'm the perfect fit for that job. Now, I'm making this up, and your situation is going to be customized to you, of course, but I'm just giving you an example. Then also, of course, follow through and follow up. Respond with an invitation to engage again. Hey, I wonder if you want to do a meetup, or, if I can help you with a project, or once a month I have people over for dinner. Would you like to join us, or anything? Just let them know that you'd like to keep the connection timely, and remind them of that simple call to action, because in reality, the secret is the call to action. All of this is you stepping outside your comfort zone. I realize that. You've done a really great job creating where you are and who you are now. And if you're looking for more in your life, then you're going to have to just eke out one step at a time outside that comfort zone. That's where the next magic is going to happen. So what does that mean to you? What I really want to reinforce here is that people don't know what you need. They literally don't really know how you need them to behave with you. It's your responsibility to set that tone and to set your expectations, set the boundaries of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable for you. Let people know what you need. It's all about the connections. The moment you put someone on a pedestal, I want to remind you, they'll be forced to look down to you. Meet them eye to eye to help and truly connect with people. So, my question to you is, what do you need help with right now? Because at some point, you'll start to want for more from your life, whether it's better health, you want to invite new relationships or you want to connect on a deeper way so the relationships you have are more meaningful and better. Maybe what you want is revenue and resources so that you're not lonely and you don't become ill and you don't have regrets in your life. You can do it on your own, but why wait until it's a crisis to see how much better off you will be if you have a guide? You just need to know what the signals are in your life so that you know when it's time to reach out for help. It is your responsibility to step up and advocate on your own behalf when it's time to invest in yourself, to build an advisory board, to pull people together and be the resources you need them to be, to achieve the full inspired life that you can create for yourself. One of those things is to develop psychological safety, and that's really the ability to take risks without fear of negative consequences. So, if, for example, your self image is at stake, building a team of people who will support you no matter what is going to create psychological safety for you to reach outside of your comfort zone in the safe way that is going to be taking the right next step for you. Put together a plan, put your guides in place, have landmarks and benchmarks so that you know that you're achieving your goals. Set up rewards along those paths, and then maintain and adjust the course so that you have a clear, well-lit path so that you can reach your goals despite a changing landscape. And if you need a little help, go to yourlifeworthliving.org, scroll down on the right side and click on I'm ready, and you can set up a clarity call with me so I can help you clarify what's really important, what your priorities are right now, and how to build an advisory board that's going to support you to live a full and happy life. Well done.